Hey, it's Mike over at fishyourassoff.com, and today what we're talking about is the best ways to chum for inshore snook. You know, a lot of times fishermen forget to chum inshore. They think, when they're offshore, they might chum up some dolphins out of the deep or whatever, snapper over a reef, anything like that, but they don't really think about, hey, why not chum inshore? A fish is a fish. They're still going to go by smell. They're still going to smell it. They're going to see it. They're going to do all these things. Why not go ahead and chum inshore? Especially when the normal places that you've been seeking out, whatever it is you're trying to catch. So say a snook, say you've been fishing all the bridges and any pilings and any docks and all these different places and they're not there. Well, maybe you can make them be there. So chumming is a really good way to catch fish. I just want to catch fish. So whatever's going to get them to me, that's what I want to use. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about that. All right, the best way to chum for inshore snook. If you've seen any of these, the redfish, the tarpon ones, whatever, it always starts the same. What do they like? Well, snook-like fish. So if you can cut up some mullet, if you can cut up some greenies, whatever you got, pilchards, I don't know. Anything that's going to put a lot of smell of their prey item into the water to attract them to you. Maybe they're down deep and they got to come up. Maybe they're all tucked away in the mangroves. It's high tide and they got to come out. Whatever you got to do to get those fish to you is what you're trying to do. Number two thing, you got to figure out where you should chum. Well, I've done it at creek mouths and it's worked just fine, pulling them out of creek mouths. I've done it out there on the grass flats. That's worked really well, just getting them all to me again. I've never done docks and bridges, but to me it makes sense. I'm usually fishing grass flats and creek mouths. It's the only reason I've never done docks and bridges. But of course it would work. Again, you're just trying to pull the fish to you. They want to smell their prey and they're going to come your way. Here's the way that I like it. So say this is some sort of creek mouth or river mouth, right? And they usually have a bay. Well, I love being parked somewhere outside that bay. So if I'm going to chum and it's incoming tide, let's say, and it's going to bring that smell in there, well, it's going to bring all the fish out to me, and then I can catch them. And depending on the size of this, it depends on where you want to park, where your X is going to be. If it's small enough where you can cast to both sides, you want to do the middle. But you definitely want to be on a shoreline when it comes to snook. So just pick your favorite shoreline if it's too big to cast, and just go for it from there. Because they're almost always going to hug the shoreline. A snook is, if that's mangroves or whatever that is, they're almost always going to be hugging that as they come out. Here's another great setup. If you have any sort of mud flats or grass flats and some sort of channel in there, you can just set up anywhere you want to, because a lot of times these bigger, smarter fish, they'll be shallow, but they want to be able to get to somewhere deep pretty quick if they need to. So they'll be getting whatever they got to eat on either side here, but they want to have the safety of that. A lot of those ones that lived realize that, hey, every now and again some big osprey comes out of nowhere and grabs your brothers and sisters. So they remember that kind of stuff. So a lot of big fish are, remember that. So they don't like being exposed in the shallow water. As far as the senses triggered, of course, the first one's the olfactory senses. They got to smell it. They don't see it. They smell it, and they come towards that smell. And then once they get towards the smell, a lot of times there'll be a lot of their prey items will be in the slick. So your slick might have gotten a bunch of greenies or whatever in the slick itself. So now the snook comes up after smelling. He's like, oh, check it out. There's where the smell's coming from. I got all these bait fish in there. So they see it. Of course, those fish are making vibrations, so they feel it with their lateral line. So the more senses you can trigger, the better. I get these really cheap chum bags from Bass Pro Shops. There's like 10 of them in there, and it's only like $3 or something like that. So, and I'll reuse them until they get too gunky. I'll just use them over and over again. But that's all you need. Just cut up whatever it is, throw it in there, sit around and wait, And I'm not saying don't go try to find the fish first. go to where you think they're going to be. Fish those docks, fish those mangroves, fish those grass flats, those potholes. But if they're not there, you're not finding them, make them come to you. It's going to take some time for them to get there because they got to smell it, they got to find it, they got to come. But if you're striking out in all the usual haunts for your prey, make them come to you. People just forget the chum. I don't know why, but inshore, a lot of people just don't even think about it. But that's it. You can see more of this information on our website. It's www.fishyourassoff.com. We have how-to videos, what to, where to, everything you need to know. It's a website full of simple tips to help fishermen catch more fish. But that's it. That's it for today. Till next time, we'll see you then. All right, bye-bye.